I had been dreaming about that day since I was a little girl, my engagement party. The venue was perfect. Warm lighting, soft music, beautiful flowers. Adam held my hand as guests arrived, smiling and congratulating us. For once, everything felt exactly how it should. Even my dress, simple and light blue, made me feel calm inside. I looked around the room and felt loved, or at least I thought I was. I was in the middle of giving a small thank you speech, just something simple, about love, family, and how grateful I was to have everyone there. That's when it happened. My mother stood up from the second row, wine glass in hand. Her voice cut through the room like a blade. "You forgot to thank someone, Elsa," she said. Everyone turned to look at her. I smiled awkwardly. "Mom, I was going to—" No, let's do it now. Let's thank my sweet daughter for snatching her £50,000 wedding fund and handing it over to her jobless brother. My heart stopped. The room went dead silent. You could hear the music stop. Chairs shifted, phones lifted, someone gasped. I felt my throat close up. "Did I say something wrong?" she added, eyes wide, lips curling into a fake smile. "Oh wait, I'm the bad guy, right? For being upset that my daughter chose to ruin her own future to save Max from jail?" My eyes locked with Adam's. He looked confused. My hands began to shake. "I saved and planned that money for years," she went on, "and you gave it away behind my back. And now you want us all to sit here, eat cake, and clap for your engagement like nothing happened?" "Mom, please!" I tried to speak, but she raised her voice louder. "You're selfish! You didn't even tell your own fiancé before throwing away your future, and now you're pretending to be the perfect bride?" I looked at Adam. He didn't defend me. He didn't say anything. My chest tightened, and for a moment, I felt like the whole room was spinning. Then she threw her wine glass down. It shattered on the floor, and with a final glare, she turned around and stormed out of the hall. Cameras were already out. Some people were whispering. A few were recording. The perfect evening turned into a public disaster in under 2 minutes. I didn't say another word. I just stood there, frozen. Everyone stared, and all I could think was, they have no idea why I did what I did, but they would. One day, they would. That night, I couldn't sleep. After the party ended in complete silence, I walked out alone. Adam didn't follow me. My father disappeared into the crowd without saying a word. I didn't even remember getting home. I just sat on my bed, still wearing my engagement dress, staring at the wall. My phone buzzed nonstop. Photos, video clips. She got exposed at her own engagement. £50,000 gone. And for what? People I didn't even know were laughing at me online. But the worst part? Adam didn't call, not even a message. I kept thinking about his face when my mother shouted, blank, confused, not even a whisper of support. I expected him to defend me, or at least stand beside me, but he didn't move, just like everyone else. I felt humiliated, betrayed, and completely alone, but I didn't cry, because deep inside me, I knew something none of them did. I hadn't snatched anything. Max, my younger brother, was in trouble a month ago. He had been accused of stealing £30,000 from the company he worked at. I knew he didn't do it. I knew it. He's reckless, yes. A bit immature, but not a criminal. No one stood by him, not our parents, not our relatives. Everyone said, let him suffer. He made his choice. But I couldn't do that. So when his lawyer said they needed £50,000 for the defense and case costs, I didn't think twice. I didn't wait for approval, I just gave it. From the fund my mother had saved for my wedding. The same fund that was in both her and my name. I never meant to hide it forever. I just didn't want to explain it in front of everyone. Not yet. Not until Max was safe. He was my brother. He was innocent. But none of that mattered to her, not to my mother. She only cared about her reputation, her perfect daughter with a perfect wedding. She couldn't stand that I did something without her permission, even if it was for family. I sat on the floor that night and opened the old folder I kept hidden. Inside were the legal reports, the evidence I had quietly gathered. The CCTV footage that showed Max wasn't even in the office when the money disappeared. The list of signatures that didn't match his. All of it. I was the one who found it. I was the one who sent it to the lawyer. I was the one who saved him. But no one clapped for that. No one said thank you. And worst of all, they made me feel like a thief at my own engagement. I closed the folder slowly. Then I whispered to myself, let them talk. Let them believe what they want. Because I knew the truth. And soon, they would too. The days after the engagement felt like walking through a cloud of judgment. Relatives stopped replying to my messages. My aunt texted me, I hope your wedding isn't as dramatic as your engagement. Some people unfollowed me. Others sent voice notes pretending to be concerned, but ended each with, still, your mom had a point. The worst silence, though, came from Adam. He hadn't called, not once. When I finally messaged him, he replied hours later with just 4 words, I need some space. I sat on my bed staring at that message, the words sharp like needles. Space? I had just been torn apart publicly, and all he wanted was space. He didn't even ask why I gave the money. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't ask if I was okay. I didn't reply. I didn't know what to say to someone who stood still when I was being torn down in front of a room full of people. And then Max called. He had been quiet too. But not because he was avoiding me. He was just ashamed. I saw the video, he said. Everyone's talking about you. I'm sorry, Elsa. I didn't say anything. I'll return the money, he added quickly. Every penny, I swear. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't ask for that much. I didn't want you to lose everything for me. You didn't make me lose anything, I said, voice flat. They did. Because it was true. I helped someone I believed in. They turned that into a scandal. But I wasn't going to stay quiet forever. That night, I opened my laptop and pulled out a separate folder, one I had kept for over a year but never showed anyone. It held documents my mother thought I'd never see. Credit card bills in my name, loan applications she filed when I was still in university, her forged signature beside mine on an old withdrawal slip. I never questioned it because she always said, it's just paperwork. I'll handle it. But now I saw the pattern. She didn't just feel betrayed when I gave Max the money. She was scared. Because if anyone looked closely enough, they'd realize the person who misused money in our family wasn't me. And for the first time, I felt something stronger than shame. I felt power. The truth wasn't just on my side. It had been sitting quietly, waiting for me to use it. The next morning, I made a list. Not an emotional one. A clean, organized, factual list of everything my mother had ever done under my name. The student loan I never applied for. The credit card that went into default. The car payment I never drove. The £12,000 withdrawal from our joint account when I was abroad. The secret emails to Max's former boss that quietly pushed the blame onto him. She had always been careful, but not careful enough. I printed the documents, labeled everything, backed up copies to a private cloud. Then I called a financial advisor. His name was Luke, a friend of Max's lawyer who agreed to help me quietly. I didn't tell him the full story, just enough to get what I needed. This kind of behavior, Luke said, after reviewing everything, is financial abuse. You could take this to court if you wanted to. I didn't flinch, but I wasn't ready to explode yet. I wanted to build slowly, quietly, the way she never expected. My mother thought she had ended me with one public outburst, but she didn't realize I had learned from her silence over the years, from all the times she used shame to shut people down, from how she twisted stories and made herself the victim. Now I was using that same silence, not to break others, but to gather everything I needed to rise. Meanwhile, Adam texted me again. Still thinking, don't want to rush anything. No, how are you? No, do you want to talk? I didn't respond. He wasn't my priority anymore. My priority was truth, and Max. He was still struggling. Even after his name was cleared, The damage from the accusation lingered. Job offers disappeared. Old friends ghosted him. He didn't even leave the house much. So I called him. "Let's rebuild together," I said. Quietly. He hesitated. "Elsa, I don't think I can." "You can," I said. "And you will." We started meeting every week. I helped him set up a portfolio site. I coached him on interview calls. I paid a design friend to help him redo his resume and LinkedIn. We called it Phase 2, because I wasn't just fixing my image. I was going to help my brother stand again too. And when we did, the truth would walk into the same room that once humiliated me. But this time, it wouldn't be quiet. It would speak. And it would be louder than anyone ever expected. Weeks passed. My name started fading from gossip. The online buzz about the engagement disaster was replaced by newer scandals, newer faces. People moved on. But I hadn't. I was building. And the quiet work was paying off. Max landed a remote job with a small startup. Nothing glamorous, but honest work, with a team that actually listened to his side of the story. He smiled again for the first time in months. I could see it in his face, the weight slowly lifting. "You didn't just save me," he said once. "You gave me a restart." I didn't respond. I just smiled. But not everyone was smiling. My mother had started texting me. Not apologies, warnings. "You've said enough, Elsa. You've embarrassed the family enough. I hope you're not planning anything stupid. You owe me a future. Don't forget that." I screenshotted everything. Then I prepared the final step. I created a single silent presentation file. 10 slides, clean, straight facts. Titled, "Where the Wedding Fund Really Went." Slide 1, breakdown of the original savings. Slide 2, unauthorized withdrawals made by my mother. Slide 3, debt taken in my name. Slide 4, screenshots of her messages to Max's employer. Slide 5, bank statements showing transfers from our joint account. Slide 6, proof that Max was innocent. Emails, CCTV screenshots, timestamps. Slide 7, a list of payments I made personally, without asking for anyone's help. Slide 8, the legal summary from the advisor. Slide 9, her voice clip saying, "It's my money too, I'll do what I want." Slide 10, one sentence. "This is what I've been silent about." I saved the file. I didn't post it online, not yet. I sent it to one person only, my father. I didn't explain. I just sent the file with a message. "This is what really happened. You can share it or ignore it. Your choice." He didn't reply that night, but the next morning, everything changed. I got a call. Not from my father, from my mother. Her voice was sharp, cold. "You think this little file will fix everything? You think you're some kind of hero now?" I didn't argue. I just said, "I didn't send it to the world, just one person. You should be asking him why he never asked me." She went quiet. Then she hung up. A few hours later, my father messaged me. "I'm sorry, I should have asked you that night. I'm sorry for standing still. It wasn't everything, but it was something. And soon, I wouldn't need anyone's apology, because I had one more move to make, and it was coming very soon." 3 weeks later, my cousin Amelia got married. It was a big family event. Everyone was invited, including me. I wasn't planning to go. I didn't want to see them, didn't want to walk into a room filled with whispers and fake smiles. But something inside me said, "Go. Just once. Let them see who you really are now." So I went. I wore a simple, elegant dress, hair tied back. No heavy makeup, no flashy jewelry, just presence, calm, quiet, and clear. As I entered the hall, heads turned. I felt eyes on me, but I didn't flinch. I walked with the kind of stillness that makes people uncomfortable, the kind that says, "I know more than I'm saying." I saw my mother standing near the buffet, surrounded by relatives. She went pale the moment she saw me. I smiled politely. She looked away. I didn't approach her. I didn't need to. Instead, I walked toward the bride, hugged Amelia, and sat near the front, directly across from the same people who once watched me fall apart at my own engagement. Midway through the evening, the DJ called for a surprise presentation. A few family members had prepared a fun throwback slideshow of past events. I nearly laughed when I saw it. Photos from birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, and of course, my engagement. The screen showed a brief clip, me holding a microphone just before my mother shouted. They quickly skipped it, but the moment was enough. It reminded everyone in the room what had happened. That's when my father stood up. Everyone looked at him, confused. He asked the DJ for the mic. "I want to say something," he said. My heart stopped. He cleared his throat. "I've made a lot of mistakes. One of them was staying quiet when my daughter needed me most." People shifted awkwardly. "She didn't steal anything. She didn't ruin anything. What Elsa did was protect her brother when everyone else turned their back, including me." The room went silent. My mother's face drained of color. He looked at her, then back at the crowd. She gave up her own future plans to protect someone who couldn't protect himself, and I'm proud of her. He handed the mic back and sat down. The applause started slowly, then spread. People clapped. Some nodded. Others stared in silence. I didn't cry. I just breathed. Because the truth had finally been said, publicly. And I didn't even have to say it myself. After that night, everything shifted. Not immediately, but the silence around me changed. It wasn't heavy anymore. It wasn't filled with shame. It was respectful, careful. The kind of silence people give when they finally realize they misjudged someone. My father and I started talking again. Really talking. Not just awkward check-ins or forced family updates. He asked questions. He listened. He admitted he had looked away too many times over the years. I didn't forgive him right away, but I appreciated the honesty. It was more than I ever got from my mother. As for her, she didn't reach out after the wedding. No apology, no explanation, just cold distance. And honestly, I was fine with that, because her silence didn't hurt me anymore. It protected me. It gave me space to rebuild without her voice in my ear. And then there was Adam. He finally texted again. "I saw the wedding speech. I didn't know all of it. I feel horrible, Elsa." Then another message. "I wish I had stood by you." I froze. I was scared of the fallout, but you didn't deserve that. And finally, "Can we meet?" I stared at those messages for a long time. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I realized something. I didn't miss him. I missed the idea of him, the dream of being supported, protected, chosen. But he wasn't that man, not when it mattered. And now, I wasn't the same woman. So I replied, "Thank you for your message, but I've already started over, alone and stronger." He didn't reply. He didn't need to. I had made peace with every silence that once broke me. Because now, I was building something louder. And I wasn't doing it for approval. I was doing it for me. A month later, I moved into my own apartment. Not big, not luxurious, but it was mine. Every pillow, every lamp, every piece of furniture, I chose it. No one else's opinion, no one else's money. Just quiet freedom in every corner. I turned the guest bedroom into a workspace. That's where the idea really started. One night, sitting at my desk, reading another message from a girl I didn't know. My mom took out a loan in my name. I'm 22 and 20,000 pounds in debt. I don't know what to do. Her words hit me like a mirror. I had been her. That's when I decided to build something bigger than healing. I wanted to help. I launched a small website, Clear Start, for women reclaiming their financial voice. It wasn't flashy, just real. A space for women who had been financially manipulated by their families, partners, even friends. I offered resources, budgeting help, legal referrals, and free guides based on what I had learned the hard way. It spread faster than I expected. I got emails from women in 6 different countries within 2 weeks. I wasn't just rebuilding my life. I was helping others do the same. And it felt good. Quiet, strong, unshakable. Max volunteered to help with the site. He handled incoming messages, organized the FAQs, and spoke to others who felt ashamed to talk to a stranger. "I wish someone had done this for us," he said one night. "They did," I replied. "We just didn't know she was already living inside me." I looked around the space I had created. No diamond ring, no wedding dress, no photos on the wall of someone standing beside me in a suit. But I didn't feel like I was missing anything, because for the first time in my life, I had everything I needed, and I had built it all from the ruins of the night they tried to shame me. By the end of the year, ClearStart was getting real attention. A women's magazine reached out for a feature. A nonprofit wanted to partner. Podcasts asked me to speak. I said yes to a few, but only the ones that felt real. I wasn't chasing fame. I was planting something deeper. Then one morning, I received an email. It was from my mother. The subject line, "Elsa, please read." I stared at it for a long time before opening it. "I don't know who you are anymore, and I suppose that's my fault. I thought I was protecting you all these years, but maybe I was just controlling you. I see you now, the way others do, and I feel small. Maybe you won't forgive me. Maybe you shouldn't. But I hope one day you'll let me back in." There was no "I'm sorry," no ownership of what she had done to Max, no mention of the damage, just regret. Quiet, careful, late. I didn't respond, not because I wanted to punish her, but because I was finally free from needing her approval. A week later, Adam showed up at the cafe where I worked some afternoons. He looked different, thinner, tired. "I came to say thank you," he said. I raised an eyebrow. "For what?" "For showing me what real strength looks like." I nodded, unsure what else to say. "I didn't deserve you, Elsa." "I know," I said softly, and he left. That night, I stood in my apartment, looking out the window as the city lights blinked quietly. So many people had walked out of my life, and now wanted to walk back in. But I wasn't standing at the door anymore. I was sitting at my own table, and for the first time, there was peace in the silence. Exactly 1 year after the engagement party, I hosted an event. But it wasn't a wedding. It wasn't about flowers, rings, or white dresses. It was a celebration of something stronger: freedom, healing, and truth. I called it ClearStart Live. We rented a small hall, invited only those who had walked through real storms, women who had lost their money, their voices, their trust, but refused to stay silent. Some had been shamed by parents, others manipulated by partners, some pushed down by entire families. They walked in quietly, but they left changed. We shared stories, not speeches. Support, not judgment. We clapped for courage, not perfection. In the center of the room, on a small stage, I stood holding a mic. Not to prove anything, but just to share what I once needed to hear myself. They told me I ruined my future the night I gave up £50,000 to save my brother. They called me selfish, disrespectful, shameful. But what they didn't know is that I didn't lose anything that night. I found everything. I found truth. I found peace. And I found the version of me that doesn't beg for a seat. She builds her own table. People stood, applauded, some cried. And at the exit of the hall, printed in gold letters on a velvet board, stood the vow I wrote not for a man, but for myself. Sometimes the only vow you need is the one you make to yourself. I walked out into the night air, alone, but never lonely, because I wasn't someone's bride, or someone's daughter, or someone's mistake. I was Elsa, and I had rewritten the ending they thought they already decided.